Hello and welcome back. So just a quick recap through the basic Teams training before we begin. So here are the main buttons. So we have the chat button, the camera, the microphone and the leave button. So you can choose to have your camera on or off. This is entirely up to you. But we do ask that you keep your microphones off. So this means that there is a line through this button just so the sound is better for everyone. If you do wish to speak to ask a question, please just unmute yourself whenever you want to talk, and we just ask that you make sure that you press the mute button again when you've finished speaking. And finally, please make sure that you press the red leave button when the session ends. So if my team goes down and you can't see or hear me anymore, please wait 5 minutes whilst I try to get back in. And if your team's goes down, please log off, log back in, and this should sort the problem out. But if the connection is lost completely for either of us and we can't get back on, just drop me an email and we can talk about it in your next phone call. Okay, so just some basic housekeeping. So you may wish to take some notes today. So now would be a good time to go and grab your pen and paper and also your session booklet. So we want you to enjoy this session. So please ask questions whenever you want, have a drink when you want, and go to the toilet whenever you want. So today's session will take about half an hour. So we just ask that there's no recording of today's session, please, and anything that is said about yourselves or anyone else stays in today's session. And also you should have all signed your confidentiality form, or if you're under 16, a parent or guardian should have done this for you. And finally, can we just please request as well that suitable language is used throughout. Okay, so let's make a start. So today's session is based on takeaways and fast food. So this is something obviously that we all enjoy from time to time, and takeaways and fast foods, as I'm sure you're all aware now, are in the red food section of the Eat Well guide. So this means that they are foods that we should eat less often, and this is because they are high in energy, fats, sugar and salt. But this doesn't mean that we can't ever have them, as that would be unrealistic and unsustainable, and we still really want to enjoy the foods that we love in moderation. So in today's session, we'll be going through some great tips to help you choose some healthier takeaways and fast food options if you eat these regularly. So please remember to watch out for portion sizes when ordering takeaways. If you don't fancy any of our healthier options, you could just have your usual order but reduce the portion sizes to cut down on some of the energy and to cut down on the amount of times you have these if you do have them regularly is another good way to go about it. Okay, so let's have a look at some popular takeaway and fast food options and see how we could improve them. So first up, let's have a look at Indian takeaways. Now we recommend limiting how often you order creamy curries like masala, korma and panzana, and reduce the how often you get the added extras like naan breads and side dishes like bhajis and samosas. When ordering an Indian takeaway, try to go for tomato-based curries or dry curries like a tandoori, madras, jalfrezi, rogan josh or buna-based dish, and opt for plain or boiled rice and papadums for side dishes. And this is because the tomato-based sauces or the dry curries and rice that is boiled instead of fried will have less suns in it. Okay, so next is Chinese. So vegetable, prawn or chicken stir fries are a really good option, and you can pair these with either plain boiled rice or plain noodles. So some good side dishes also include steamed dumplings or sweet corn soup. We recommend limiting how often you get items such as battered meats like chicken balls or strips and crispy beef, and also try to reduce how often you get things like fried rice, crispy duck and extras like sweet and sour curry sauce, spring rolls, prawn toast, wontons and ribs. So who is going to have a stir fry when they next get to Chinese? Well, have a think, and can you think of any other healthier options? Okay, so now on to pizza. So when ordering pizza, try to go for a small size like a 9-inch with a thin crust with toppings like vegetable, chicken or ham toppings and tomato bases. So try to avoid larger pizzas, so those 13-inch and the 18-inch that have pepperoni or meat feast type toppings and creamy bases. So also avoid any added extras such as garlic mayo, stuffed crust and extra cheese, as once again these can increase the energy of your takeaway. You could even try making your own pizzas with a tortilla wrap, and that could be something fun to do with your friends. Okay, so now at a kebab shop and burger place, the healthier options would be opting for shish kebabs with pita bread, with grilled chicken, grilled burgers and lean meats. We recommend limiting how often you get large doner kebabs with mayo, cheese, creamy sauces, deep fried and battered meats and extra chips. Okay, so at the chippy, you could ask for lightly battered fish or fish and breadcrumbs, go for a small portion of chips or share a portion of chips with someone else, and add side dishes such as mushy peas or beans. So have a think now, what foods do you think we would advise to have less often from a chip shop? Okay, so these would be things like pies and battered items like battered sausages. So whenever you have a takeaway, you can always share your takeaway food with friends or family. So you could share a pizza, share a portion of chips, and this is instead of eating the whole thing yourself. So this way you're still getting to enjoy the takeaway, but having half the amount you normally would. So we're really trying with our portion sizes there. Okay, so there can be lots of energy in fast food meals too, and they can sometimes add up to be more than double the amount of food we need in a whole day. But remember, balance is key. So we can still enjoy fast food now and again, but we just need to choose lower energy options where possible. So let's have a look at some now. So firstly, let's have a look at what we might get from somewhere like McDonald's, for instance, and then what you could have as a lower energy option. So Tom normally gets 20 chicken nuggets, a large fries with a sour cream sauce, chocolate milkshake and a standard ice cream tub. This would equate to 19 suns. So with some easy swaps, Tom could make this 8 suns and still enjoy his McDonald's. So he could swap to a 6-piece chicken nugget box, a small fries, a small tomato ketchup, a milk carton and a mini ice cream. So he's still having the things he loves, but he is being portion aware and making some really good changes. So other healthier suggestions include wraps of the day, but we recommend opting for the grilled chicken instead of the crispy chicken, 4 veggie dippers, salad boxes, chicken or fish au fillet sandwiches, fruit bags, egg and cheese McMuffin, and no added sugar drinks. Then we have KFC. So Q loves KFC and his favourite meal is a big Kentucky Fried Banquet and a fizzy orange pop, and this comes in at 11 suns. But if he changed to a mini fillet snack box and added a diet cherry pop, it would be over half the energy less at 5 suns. So other suggestions could include rice boxes, salad boxes, mini fillet burgers or wrap, small popcorn chicken and sides such as beans and corn on the cob. Okay, and finally we have Beth's favourite. So she enjoys Burger King. So when she goes to Burger King, she opts for a double cheeseburger meal with the large chips, onion rings and a cola, and this has 23 suns. Now let's have a look at what she could choose to get this down to 8 suns. So she could get a plant-based burger meal with medium chips and a Diet Coke. But other healthier alternatives could include 4-piece chicken nuggets or a single ham or cheeseburger. Okay, so it's not always just about the food that we eat, it's about the drinks that we drink too. And Tom and Shan like to go for a Costa or a Starbucks with their mum and to have a drink and a slice of cake after school a few times each week. So they both get a salted caramel cream frosty drink and a chocolate muffin. And this can have the same amount of energy as a full meal, as it comes in at 7 suns for both the drink and a cake. But again, we can make a few changes to get this down to just 3 suns. So they could do this by having an orange cooler style drink, 2-pack of jammy biscuits, and this is their 3 suns in total. So here are some other tips and tricks for you when you visit a coffee shop. Ask for skimmed milk. Choose a sugar-free syrup, get a small instead of a medium or large, see if they have reduced fat cream, and don't always go for extras like the additional marshmallows, and try the 2-pack of biscuits instead of a cake. Okay, so thinking time now. So these are all great examples of how reducing portion size and making healthy swaps can bring the energy content of a meal down, yet you can still enjoy the food you love. So remember to check the food label when ordering fast food, as most places provide the nutrition information which can help you decide and choose a healthier option. Using these slides as a guide, think about what you would normally get at a takeaway and what healthier options you might put in place next time. If I find myself having multiple takeaways in a month, instead of missing out with my friends or family, I might opt for a healthier option like a stir fry and plain noodles from the Chinese, and also share out food to help with my portion size where possible. Okay, so now we're at that time of the session where we look at some handy top tips. So today's top tips are: avoid going for extras when ordering takeaways. So those extras could be extra cheese, meat toppings, stuffed crust, side dishes and double ups. Try not going back for seconds, and finally try checking how much energy is in the food before you make your choice. Okay, so looking at Tom and Shan's goals that they've set based on this session, they've decided to swap doner kebabs on a Friday to a shish kebab with salad, order a small fast food meal instead of having a large when out with friends on Saturday, and share a large pizza on Sunday instead of having one each. So now have a think and a discussion with your parent or guardian, and try to make note of at least one small goal that you'd like to try over the coming weeks. Okay, so the key take-home messages from today's session are: keep in mind our healthier takeaway options and try one when you next order a takeaway. Make small changes to your fast food order. For example, you could try having a small instead of a large. And finally, think about all the great changes you've made so far. Okay, so we just have a few quick questions from Tom and Shan now. So Shan asked, what do I do if my family and friends get lots of takeaways? So this can be tricky, but try using some of the swaps and tips from this session, and this can help you choose better options when ordering takeaways and fast foods if you are getting them regularly. Tom asked, can I still get my favourite fast food order? And to this we say yes. Yes, you can still enjoy your favourite takeaway meals, but try to limit how often you get it. If you are having it lots, then try to swap to a healthier option for the most part, and try to only get your favourite once in a while. Okay, so we have come to the end of the session now, and this is our final section of phase 1. So a very well done and a thank you for sitting through these sessions and completing the first phase. We really hope you've enjoyed it. But just before we end today, there is one last session in the booklet which is about goal setting, planning and noting down all the good things you've done. So here are a few slides to help you start thinking about these things. Okay, so one thing that can make change easier is to choose the easiest goal first. So I know that you have made goals already and that you are all doing really, really well with them, so well done. So as you keep changing what you eat and drink, choosing the easiest goal will help you to keep making great changes. And remember, it's okay to change a goal if you're finding it too tough. Just choose a goal that you think might be easier. Okay, so here we have Tom, and Tom unfortunately didn't choose his easiest goal first, and he's found it really tough. But when you make changes, things often go wrong like this, and it's okay. Tomorrow's another day and you can get up and try again. So this is just what Tom did. He decided to change his goal so that he could have crisps, but he made a change by saying he would have a packet less each day. So this is a much better goal. So it's important to try and think of easy goals that you could make. You can talk about your goals in your one-to-one sessions, which will now be moving to every 2 weeks in phase 2 of the programme. Okay, so plan ahead. So change can be easier if you ask your friends and family to help you, and if you plan ahead. So it can be really hard to stick to our goals sometimes, like when we go out with friends, when we're at birthday parties, or when we're eating at someone else's house. So it's important to try and make a plan of what might work for you. So Tom planned to have a little bit of everything, just like all of his friends when he goes to birthday parties. And Shan planned to still have popcorn, but not to go large, and to have a sugar-free drink when she goes to the cinema. So they're both still enjoying the foods that they love, and they're not missing out, but they're just making these small changes to make everything a bit more balanced. Okay, and finally, we just wanted to mention how important it is to keep going with your goal setting sheet, as sometimes we forget about how well we've done, and even if we're just trying things and we've changed the goal, the fact you've tried, that's really, really good. So it can just be really helpful to keep a note of all the things that you've thought about and all the things that you've tried, as this can help you keep going, and it can help you acknowledge how well you've done, because you can be like, oh yeah, I've actually done a lot when you look back on the list of things that you've done and achieved, and you've all made such fantastic changes, so great work everyone. So just continue to flick through the session booklet that you all have if you ever need to look back on anything we've discussed. So we're now moving into phase 2 of the programme, and there are 6 sessions for you to join over the next 12 weeks, which cover some interesting topics such as dealing with special times like holidays, how to get a good sleep, and what vitamins do. So your key worker will be contacting you in regards to booking onto these. And finally, we just want to thank you again for joining today's session, and for the last 7 weeks, and we wish you all the best with the rest of the programme. Thank you.